Good night, lay down and close your eyes. All things have to die, but not just yet.
Hi guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and The Hobbit is actually a fantasy story, which precedes The Lord of the Rings and sets the scene for that. It was actually written before The Lord of the Rings, and there's a little introduction in my pocket edition 75th anniversary one, and that gives you a little bit more detail into the backstory behind this and The Lord of the Rings, which is really interesting. Also, it talks about these characters which Tolkien actually made up himself and which actually are a true language which he uses in the books. So inside the books there are actually these maps which are beautifully illustrated by Tolkien himself. There are little illustrations, and at the back there's this map of the Wilderland. In the book there are illustrations as well, and these illustrations are actually so beautiful, pencil or engraving, I'm not sure which, but they are just so intricate in their line work that it really draws you into the story, and the images really help to bring you into the story. The story of The Hobbit begins with Bilbo Baggins, who is a hobbit himself, and we learn a little about how he's living, how very relaxed the hobbit lifestyle is, and the sort of things that they would typically expect from hobbits. And then very early on in the story, Gandalf, who is a wizard, comes into the story, and he actually starts to encourage the hobbit to come on an adventure with him, and then lots of unwanted guests turn up in the hobbit's house, in Bilbo's house, and that really causes problems and leads on to them having a big adventure. So I'm not going to say any more without spoiling it, but basically it is phenomenal in the world building. The world building is definitely something that Tolkien excels at, because this world is so thought out and so meticulously executed in the book, but it makes it feel real, even though it is a fantastical world. And that's really interesting, I believe. So we see Bilbo travelling on his adventures, we see all the different mysteries he gets up to. I particularly liked hearing about it from Bilbo's point of view and the way that he was feeling about the dwarves who he was travelling with and Gandalf, and the way that he felt he had been thrust into this adventure. So it's a very well written book, and it's very worth reading. If you like fantasy, it's definitely a must read, and it certainly captures your attention and draws you into the story. And the films, The Hobbit, are actually really interesting as well. I've seen the first one and I'm highly anticipating the next one, which comes out this December. So I would highly recommend getting this book, reading it before the second part of The Hobbit, the film, comes out, because this and the film do stick fairly close together, but the film is phenomenal because of how it was made in today's age, and this obviously very more traditional. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was quite a fast read, even though the writing is very, very small. So I really did enjoy it and I highly recommend it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye!
Tomorrow's still a day away, and it will always stay that way.